Hey guys, so today we're going to start the day 3 video of the digestive system. So in day 1, we talked about the mouth, how the mouth was responsible for breaking down starches into simpler sugars using the enzyme amylase, and it also mechanically digests food by chewing. Then we talked about the esophagus, how it takes food from your mouth down to your stomach, and it uses peristalsis to continue to mechanically digest the food and to push the food down towards your stomach. We also talked about a structure called the epiglottis, which you guys can see right here, which covers your airway when you are swallowing food to prevent food from going down into your lungs and choking and all of that. We also talked about your stomach, how it is filled with digestive enzymes and acids, and that these digestive enzymes, called pepsin and acid, are responsible for breaking down your food even further. Now, in your stomach, you guys remember, proteins are broken down by pepsin, which is the enzyme, into amino acids, and those amino acids are simple enough that they can be used by the body, okay? And then when all of this is done, when all of this digestion happens, all of this turns into a substance called chyme, which is just digested food, and it goes into your small intestine, right? So today we are going to get into the small intestine and talk about its basic functions. So you guys can see here, the small intestine is not really working alone. It has a lot of buddies that help it do its job, right? Because in the small intestine is where most of your digestion and almost all of your absorption of nutrients happens. And this digestion means that you need to have a lot of different digestive enzymes and all kinds of different chemicals in your small intestine, which helps to break down these materials into simpler materials, right? So the guys are the organs which assist the small intestine, that kind of have to be there to allow the small intestine to do its vital jobs, are the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas. These three work together to help to digest food even further. All right, so the main functions of the small intestine is to digest foods, and it digests it using many different enzymes and many different chemicals, and to absorb nutrients from digested food. We're going to be talking a little bit about the absorption of nutrients tomorrow, right? But today we're just going to be talking about how these foods are digested and what are the organs that are involved and how they assist in the digestion of food. All right, so your small intestine is about 7 meters in length. It is very, very long. As you can see here, this inner area right here with the thinner tubes, that is your small intestines. And of course, if you took it and you laid it end to end, it would be 7 meters long, okay? This is obviously a massive surface area, and it really helps in the absorption and the digestion of food, okay? And inside of your small intestine, you have peristalsis happening. So we're just going to watch a video really quickly of what happens here. So you can see that you have muscles lining your small intestine, and these muscles continue to squeeze and push food through your digestive system. So you guys can see peristalsis starts in the esophagus, and here it continues squeezing and pushing the food all the way even into your large intestine. But we're not going to be talking about the large intestine today, so let's just continue. All right. So you guys know that peristalsis is what pushes the food through. Now, you guys, I want you to remember, we have no control of these muscles. Peristalsis is one of those things that your brain controls unconsciously, and that's why we never have to think about, am I digesting my food or not? It just happens because your body does it automatically. It's just like how when you're breathing. When I'm breathing, I can control my breathing, right? I can tell myself, okay, I'm going to breathe like this instead. But as soon as I fall asleep or I stop thinking about it, my body will start to breathe normally. The same thing happens with the muscles that are involved in digestion. We have no control of them. They do what they do, and you really can't stop them from doing anything that you don't want them to do, right? So peristalsis is not controlled by you consciously, it's just controlled by your brain telling your body what to do. All right, so now 3 organs that are helping in the digestion of food or of chyme that leaves your stomach are your pancreas, your liver, and your gallbladder. They all work together to release digestive enzymes which break down the food. All right, so let's get into the pancreas first. The pancreas is an extremely important organ. Without this organ, digestion would be extremely difficult. All right? So the first thing that it does, how it assists, is first of all, when chyme, which is digested food, leaves the stomach, it still has stomach acid mixed in with it. And if this acid is not neutralized or basically deactivated, it can continue to burn your intestines. Because remember, your intestines don't have this protective lining. That acid can actually destroy it. So the first job of the pancreas is it releases a chemical which turns the acid off, so it neutralizes the acid, right? This means that the acid can no longer continue to burn through your intestines, okay? Neutralizes the acids. The second thing that it does is it produces enzymes which break down carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. All right, so you guys can see that the pancreas plays a vital role in producing enzymes which help in digestion. So without your pancreas, digestion would be extremely difficult. And this is why patients who suffer from pancreatic cancer have an extremely low chance of survival, because without the pancreas, you will have so much trouble digesting your food that your body will start to lose so much energy, okay? Another job of the pancreas is that it produces insulin. You guys know that insulin is required for proper digestion of sugar, and without it, a person may become diabetic. This is why people who have diabetes will take insulin once a day. Okay, so you guys understand the pancreas has many roles. It neutralizes acid from the stomach, and it digests pretty much everything: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. You guys remember that the digestion of sugar starts in the mouth, and then it continues again in the small intestine using the pancreas. That's what carbohydrates are, they're sugars. And then the digestion of proteins starts in the stomach, and then it continues in the small intestine, and the digestion of fats starts in the small intestine and ends in the small intestine. It doesn't happen pretty much anywhere else, right? All right, and now we need to talk about the liver and the gallbladder. The liver is a large organ that is found, pretty much right above the stomach, and right below it, it has a little organ called the gallbladder. So the liver's job is to produce bile. Bile is a chemical which breaks down fats or lipids into smaller molecules which your body can use. All right, so the liver actually produces bile, so it produces this chemical. Now, any extra bile that is not being used immediately gets stored inside of this little sac called the gallbladder. The gallbladder will hold on to that bile, and then when it detects that there is fat in this area, so let's say you ate a really fatty meal and the fat has gone through your mouth, through your stomach, and is now in your small intestine, your gallbladder will start to produce, or will start to release, the bile that it has stored. And this bile will break down the fat into smaller pieces, which your body can actually use. Okay? So you guys, don't forget, the liver is involved in the digestion of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Carbohydrates are like sugars. It also neutralizes the acid from the stomach. And the liver produces, I meant the pancreas, okay? And the liver produces bile, and the gallbladder stores the bile and waits until it needs to be used. All right, so as soon as it finds that there's fat in your small intestine, this bile gets released. Sometimes the gallbladder can develop things called gallstones, which just means that there are solid pieces in here. They can become pretty painful. They might even have to be surgically removed. right? And it will affect your ability to digest fats. So if your gallbladder is no longer able to store bile and release it efficiently, or if there's a gallstone stored or stuck somewhere over here, your fats will not be properly digested, and you might end up just losing that ability, right? All right, so guys, now you can go ahead and work on the quiz. Good luck.